Alright guys, so in the last video we talked about how to create random division for the number project. In this video we want to talk about the timer and how to, every time the user gets a right answer, the timer increases its speed, therefore shortening the amount of time that it takes for a user to answer a question. And as they continue to answer the questions correctly, the time will become shorter and shorter. So let me just explain how my timer works. Canvas. And there we go. Main game objects. Then go to the points display, and then the circular loader. So we notice we have the current amount, that's the distance, and then we get the speed, which is 20. And so to get the time, we would divide the distance, which is 100, over the speed, which is 20, and that'll give us a time of 5 seconds. So we're going to press play right now. Start the game. It's at 20 seconds. Let's see. That's not a good place to get it. Let's go to the game manager. And so what's happening is those values in the timer and the circular loader are the default value. But because the game manager has access to the circular loader, I can change those values to however I want. And so the game manager is a better indication of what those values actually are. So like I said, the timer fill amount is the distance, which is still 100, but the speed is 5. I'm going to change it to 20. And so 100 divided by 20, once again, is 5 seconds. Save that, run it. Is it? Okay, 5 seconds for a person to get the right answer. Ding. All right. There we go. All right. So that's how the speed works. So what we want to do is that every time a user gets the right answer, the time that it takes to answer the question should shorten, take less and less time. So say, for example, if we start with 10 seconds, the person gets 10 questions right, then you sort of increase the difficulty. We drop it to, say, 5 seconds or 8 seconds. The user gets another 10 questions right, then we drop it to, say, 5 seconds. The user gets another 10 questions right, then we drop it to 2 seconds. And 2 seconds is the fastest that it won't go any further than that. And so how do we do that? So we already know that the game manager has access to the circular loader. And so I'm just going to go to the game manager script. Alright, so look at the game manager script. If we look at the start function, we see that it's finding that load circle, it's the timer circle, finds that, and then once it's found, in the start new round function, we set the value of the timer fill amount, which is the distance, and then the speed. So that's what happens when we start a new round. And so every time a user clicks the right answer, we want the time to decrease. So how would we do that? There's a function called select this answer. And I touched briefly on it on previous videos, but I'm going to go deeper into it. So with the load circle.get time, it basically just gets the time left on the circle that's not equal to 0. It's going to grab the value of the button or the options that was pressed, the 3 options at the bottom of the equation, and if the value of that option that's selected is equal to the solution or the right answer, then it's just some debug options, but it sets the points to +5 to whatever its current value is, +5, and then it increases, it calls this function increase difficulty, and then it starts a new round, and then it updates the point text. So I want to do just a small change, but increase the points and then update its text, which it probably would be better in its own function, the whole points system, increasing its value and updating the text. But if it's just 2 lines of code for now, I'll just leave it. I think it's only in this function for now, so I just leave it like that. And so let's see the increased difficulty, because that will probably have what we need in terms of shortening the time. So increased difficulty, if speed is less than 50, because 100 divided by 50 is 2. We don't want it to go any shorter than 2 seconds. If speed is less than 50, then speed plus equal, so take its current value and add 5 to it, and that would be its new value. Alright, so this function is called every time the selected answer, select this answer, gets it correct. If the value of the selected answer is equal to solution, it calls this function, increase difficulty. The only issue that I have with this is that when I set the speed initially to 20, when I click the right answer, it's going to go to 25. Now, 100 divided by 20 is 5. 100 divided by 20 is 4. Those are fine. There's no issues with that. But when I take it to 30, say the user gets another right answer, 100 divided by 30 will give you 3.33333, so on and so forth. Now, once again, there's nothing necessarily wrong with this, but this will affect the time and increase the decimal spot, the decimal place to up to more than 2, and so I want to keep it not more than 2. And so basically, I want a number that can be divided into 100 and doesn't throw a remainder of any kind. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create an array of the speed that I want. This is going to be a private array, and it's going to be a float. So private float array. That's how you specify that it's an array and not just not an individual float. Speed array equals. Alright. So say we start with 5. The speed is set to 5. 100 divided by 5 gives us 20. And so it takes 20 seconds for the first set of questions. Alright, that's good. Then we get 10. It'll take 100 divided by 10. Gives us 10 seconds. Alright, that's good. Then we go to 20. 100 divided by 20. gives us 5 seconds. Then we go to 25. That's 4 seconds, because 100 divided by 25 is 4. And then finally, at the 2 seconds mark, get 50. Which is good. Now, we could do we can say speed equals the speed array index plus plus. Now it doesn't know the index, and so what I'm going to do is set the index in the start function. Well, I'm going to make a private variable first. Private int index equals 0. So it has the index plus plus. Alright, so let's test this out. I'll set the speed to 1, because that function is only going to call on every start new round, which why is that being called the get-go? I figured it out. The reason why the timer wasn't working was because the timer filling amount is not set to anything. So I'm going to set the default value to 100. And then speed is going to set, since these are private variables, equals speed array zero. Does that work? No. So I'll leave that as that. What I'm going to do here is just set the speed equal speed array index. And index set to 0, so it should take 20 seconds. All right, let's give that a try. $20. Okay, good. 10. Okay. 5. 4. Uh-oh. 3. All right. So that's good. That's the reset function is not working, but it needs to be tweaked. All right. All right. So the one issue I do have, the reset doesn't work. So let's go back. Let's find the reset function, which is in the game manager. So let's So speed array, you set the index to 0 equals 0, and then this will be set, the speed will be set to speed array index I'm going to do that before we start a new round. Points value set to 0. In fact, I'm going to create that function, update score. Private void update score int value points value equals value. Select this answer, that's what we want. Points value, we'll take that. So plus. It's called a Boolean reset. So if reset, it was in the reset state, then points equals this. Else points value equals its original value plus the new value, and that's not how you do bool. C#, it's bool. Alright, so I get that function. Bool reset equals false. We set it the false as a private variable. Update score, the value be 5, and then reset. And then on the reset function, we call the function again, update score, we update the score to 0, and reset to true. So we don't need that reset anymore. Let's call that false. We can get rid of this variable. Alright. Another issue that I want to solve is it shouldn't update, the speed shouldn't shorten every time a person gets the correct answer. It should be a certain amount of answers that a user gets before it gets, before the time is shortened. So I want to handle that here, increase difficulty. So we're going to do, we want to say on every 10th question, it's going to be 1 round. So after that round is complete, then shorten the time. And so you get to round 2. So in order for us to do that, we need to keep track of how many questions that we're, how many questions are being answered. So we'd have private int question index, or question counter equals 0. So once start new round is called, we increment the question counter plus plus. All right. And so once we get to, so increase difficulty. So if speed is less than 50 and question counter mod 10 is equal to 0, then increment the speed. And so with this line of code is saying, if question counter, whatever its value is, say if it's 5, if it's divided by 10 and it doesn't have a remainder, or its remainder is 0, then increase. Because 5 divided by 10 does have a remainder, it will not increment. So say if question count is equal to 10, then 10 divided by 10, the remainder is 0, and so it then say, okay, that satisfies that condition, and speed is less than 50, then I will increase the speed. All right, let's give that a try. So we're testing two things: the reset and the timer being shortened after 10 questions. Let's see, start for 20 seconds, get 11, 132, negative 132, negative 44, 81, 60. So it's 5, when you answered 5 questions, because it's 5 points per turn. 7, okay, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, the time should be shortened, 2, 1. So the time should be shortened after this one. Nope. Oh, it is. See, now it's only 10 seconds. Okay, that's good. So let's keep this going. Ah, there you go. Oh, not the right answer. Okay. So the timer looks good. This is really good. Oh, I'm guessing. All right. So we've gone into the reset state. Press reset. Back to 20 seconds. The score is set to 0. This is good. This is exactly what we want. All right. So I'm going to stop the video here for now. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we will approach a counter of some kind to show that, hey, this is how many questions you have answered. Thank you. Like and subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, put it in the comment section below.